course, I forget already the first sentence. So there's a translation in case you need it. Van fordítás mindenki számára, hogyha szükséges. Az előadások felváltva lesznek magyar és angol nyelven. Úgyhogy annak érdekében, hogyha ez bárki számára nehézséget jelent. There's a simultaneous translation during the presentations. Half of them roughly going to be in Hungarian, the other half is going to be in English language. Seems that not everybody wants to sit down. Okay. My name is Balázs Barta. I'm the managing director of Pannon Business Network. Its daughter company. And its daughter company, Advanced Manufacturing Laboratories MLab. And I would like to welcome you all. We are the main organizer of this event today. And it's very delighted that we have some 150 participants for this meeting. Of course, I could say that okay, it's because we are so popular and everyone wants to see us. I'm not sure yet what the right answer. It's maybe the topic itself which is relevant for most of the players. And I'm also very happy that we have so fabulous presenters who accepted our request to make a presentation about the structure of the day, how we plan to realize it. We have thought that it would be good to have a top-down overview what the policy, what the government thinks about artificial intelligence and digitalization and how it can be applied. And then we will take two examples from leading multinational companies. It will be Jaguar and Audi. They are not just leaders in their respective industry, automotive, but they are also leaders in artificial intelligence. And we see what they are doing on the top end. And when we have those two presentations and we see what they are doing, so if we think of aspect, which is geographic. So if we think of digitalization and artificial intelligence, it's typically Germany that comes to our mind. And from Germany we will have two presentations. One of them is from the highly respected Fraunhofer Institute, where they will speak about what kind of applications they have. And another one is a middle-sized company from Baden-Württemberg. The reason why it's interesting is that they give a showcase and evidence that artificial intelligence cannot be applied purely and only for multinationals. And then we will have a review of how Hungary, in the eye of the artificial intelligence coalition, thinks about this. In the second panel, we will have a different series. In the second panel, we will have a different series of presentations where we will go more down, and I will explain, in our case, how we try to work with small and medium-sized businesses in artificial intelligence and digitalization. Then we will have a presentation from the test field, automotive test field from Zalakanti. And following that, we will see an interesting presentation, but of course all the presentations are interesting, from KUKA Robotics, what kind of applications they have. And hopefully at the end we will see when value is created out of innovation and how it can be patented. So it's a heavy agenda, 3 hours of presentation from all aspects of digitalization and artificial intelligence. And now I would like to give the floor to Demus from give a keynote speech Innovation and Technology to give a keynote speech on that.
Üdvözlöm! ITM és ezen belül is a Gulyás Tibor helyettes államtitkár úr nevében a konferenciát, és önöket is nagyon szépen köszönöm a PVM-nek lehetőséget biztosított, hogy néhány gondolatban összefoglaljam a kutatásfejlesztés korensebb, frissebb, kutatásfejlesztési prioritásokat, és egy kicsit nevezesen önöket a szakpolitika, hogy így mondjam, bújraiba. A előadásomban a helyzetképet két tételben szeretném bemutatni, azt követően két nagyon jellemző modell példát ajánlanék a figyelmünkbe, ami a gondolatmenetem legfontosabb részét képező egyetemi bázisú innovációs ökoszisztémákra vonatkozóan. Néhány szóban bemutatnám a most már folyamatban lévő és elindult intézményi és finanszírozási rendszer átalakítását, és hát végül a mesterséges intelligenciát és más most kiemelt projekteket szeretnék hát egy kicsit ilyen menübe csoportosítva megosztani önökkel. Ami a KQSZEF innovációs rendszer helyzetképét és hát ezen belül is a szerkezetét illeti, ugye mindig az uniós összehasonlító eredménytáblával, benchmarkkal szoktuk kezdeni, és ez nem is véletlen, hiszen itt nem a pillanatnyi pozíció, hogy most éppen 21-ek vagyunk, mert azok is voltunk, vagy most éppen visszacsúsztunk a 23-ra, hanem itt az évtizedes stagnálás, az döbbenti rá a szakpolitikai vezetőt arra, hogy egy más pályára kell tenni a kutatásfejlesztési politikát, mert jellemző rendszer problémákkal állunk szembe, amiket rendszerében lehet csak meg. És hogyha itt a jobboldali hasábra néznek, ami ugye ezeket a tényezőket sűrítve összefoglalja, akkor három gyenge pontra, ilyen értelemben rendszer problémára lehet rávilágítani. Az első a finanszírozás és támogatás, a második az innovátor vállalkozások nagyon gyenge teljesítménye és nagyon alacsony aránya, és a harmadik pedig a nemzetközi versenyben a kiválóság kutatási minőségi kapacitások versenyében a arcpirítóan gyenge pozíció, amit ugye az is jelez, hogy a Horizon 2020-ból 0,6%-ba állítva komoly intézkedésekkel ezen változtatni kell. És hogy a második kép, ami még mindig a helyzetképre vonatkozik, az pedig egy gazdasági struktúrába ágyazza, hogy milyen gazdasági struktúrában lehet ezeket a rendszerhibákat kijavítani. Ezt az ábrát ajánlom figyelmükbe már csak azért is, mert a kutatásfejlesztési stratégiának ezek a sokat emlegetett célindikátora, vagy vezérindikátora, amit ugye idegen szóval GDP, tehát magyarán mennyit költ a rendszer kutatásfejlesztésre a GDP arányában, és ugye itt a 20-ra, hát az ambiciózus 1,8%-ot látják a jelenlegi közel 1,5-tel. De tulajdonképpen, hogy miért fontos ezt, ha pályáról beszélünk, egy makrogazdasági teretbe ágyazni, ez azért, mert ennek a fejlettség, a gazdasági fejlettség és a KQSZEF ráfordítása között egy nagyon érdekes, kicsit paradox helyzet van, mert akkor lehet igazán a KQSZEF ráfordítások arányából következtetni a gazdasági fejlettségre, tehát a korreláció szorosságát, akkor lehet igazán készpénzben kitör ebből a jellemző, ezt így mondja a nemzeti szakirodalom, közepes jövedelem és teljesítmény csapdájából. Mert a közepes jövedelem és teljesítmény csapdája az azt jelenti, hogy nem azt mondom, hogy nincsen korreláció, de nagyon gyenge a korreláció, a kapcsolat, a kutatásfejlesztés ráfordítás aránya növekedése és a gazdasági teljesítmény között, és ennek voltaképpen strukturálisan a legmélyebben gyökerező oka ez a bizonyos homegrown innovation, vagy hazai bázisú növekedés, innovációnak a gyengesége, tehát erre lehet visszavezetni, hogy a hazai KKV innovációs ráfordítása és kapacitása és teljesítménye az lehet a fordulópont, és hát ne felejtsük el, hogy a finanszírozásról beszéltünk, hogy nagyon dependent, tehát függő a rendszer az egyoldalú uniós támogatásoktól, és világos, hogy ez is egy több lábra álló struktúrát feltétel, mind a finanszírozás szerkezetét tekintve, mind pedig ennek a vállalati forrás bevonását tekintve, és ha már a finanszírozáson túli strukturális helyzetről beszélünk, akkor az alsó narancssárga fektetett hasáb az mutatja, hogy nagyon magas, 17%-a külföldi forrás bevonása a hazai KKV rendszerben. Ez a csehekkel együtt kirívóan magas még a régióban is, és nyilvánvaló, hogy erre épülnek a hazánkban a KKV beruházások, sőt a KKV projektek beleértve a mesterséges intelligenciát, amiről itt hallottuk az elmúltól, itt egész délelőtt fogunk showkézeket látni. Ez persze természetesen egy adottság és nagyon fontos kihasználni, de attól még a hazai bázis innováció az egy mélyen gyökerező problémája, szerkezeti problémája a kutatás fejlesztésnek, és ezért kell hozni ahhoz, hogy más álljon a kutatás fejlesztésre. Két gyors példa a jelenlegi intézkedéseinkben, ahol a rendszer legjobban meg lehet strukturálisan is meg rendszerében mozgatni, azt az egyetemi bázisú innovációs ökoszisztémáktól reméli, és joggal a nemzetközi példák alapján joggal reméli a kormányzat. Ez az ábra, ez tulajdonképpen az egyik legjobb uniós gyakorlatot mutatja be, ez az úgynevezett EIT, ami nagyon fontos digitális kontrolláló és irányító központja, ez a Digital Kids-nek a Budapest nódja, ugye a meghatározó egyetemekre, a műegyetem, az Ötvös Loránd Egyetem informatikai és a műegyetemre, illetve Ericsson és más nagyon fontos vállalatok konzorciumaként, és ugye itt nagyon büszkék vagyunk, hogy éppen tegnap előtt írta alá miniszter úr az EIT-vel ugye a Memorandum of Understanding-et, tehát az együttműködő szándéknyilatkozatot. A másik az pedig ennek a kiterjesztése, modellábrája, ami azért is nagyon fontos, mert ez a magja az egyetemi bázisú innovációs ökoszisztéma a Science Park, tehát, vagy ahogy mondjuk a tudományos és innovációs partner hálózatnak, és ahogy látják, ennek van egy belső burka, ami ugye hát a ipari és az egyetemi együttműködéseket rendszerében, tudásmenedzsment foglalja, és ugye van egy külső, ami már kimondottan a vállalati betelepüléseket és az egyetemmel való kutatási és üzleti kapcsolat szorosságát mutatja, és ennek a jegyében ugye mi nagyon szeretnénk, hogy ezt nem csak menedzsmentjében erősíteni, hanem a megnövelt forrásokkal célzott, és ezt ugye az európai irodalom deep tech kutatásokra fordítani néhány szektorban, beleértve a mesterséges intelligenciát. Tehát a deep tech alatt ugye a mostani Horizon Europe azt jelenti, hogy az áttörést jelentő technológiák alapkutatása a deep tech, és néhány ilyet szorgalmaz most az a kormányzat, hogy ugye a 21-es ciklusra való felkészülésben ilyen zászlóshajó programok induljanak, amik részben az egyetemi bázisú ökoszisztémákon keresztül valósíthatók meg. És amikor a finanszírozásról, mint rendszer problémáról beszéltünk, akkor azt is lehet nagyon jól látni, hogy a kék vonal, ugye, ami nagyon szépen egyenletesen növekszik, az ugye a ráfordításoknak a vállalati hatását mutatja, és ugye a stagnáló pozíció a home-based growth, tehát a hazai bázisú növekedés, tehát ott látszik, hogy ott lehet megmozgatni a rendszer, és ezért a miniszter úr különösen fontosnak tartja, hogy az intézmény és a finanszírozási rendszer egyszerre változzon, és ez bizony egy integrált kutatóhálózati együttműködést feltételez, aminek ugye az első kiválósági pillére az a Eötvös Loránd kutatóhálózat, ami ugye az egykori MTA intézeteket egy új struktúrába ágyazza, illetve az alkalmazott kutatási hálózat, Baj Zoltán, ami egy kicsit emlékeztet, remélhetőleg hamarosan egyre inkább emlékeztet a Fraunhofer intézményhálózatra, és természetesen a harmadik eleme ennek az intézményrendszernek az egyetemi bázisú ökoszisztémák, és ezeknek kell integráltan együttműködni, és hogyha tényleg a finanszírozás, ahogy most is a 20-as 32 milliárddal növelt évi finanszírozás 20-ig, 21-ig egyenletesen kiszámítva növekszik, akkor nem egy feneketlen zsákba öntjük be, úgymond a nagyobb forrásokat, hanem valóban célzott kutatási programok mentén a AI és mesterséges intelligencia, illetve más. Tulajdonképpen ez a rendszer, amit ugye összefoglalóan, és így a végére mosolygörbe, sokat emlegetett mosolygörbe, és ez tulajdonképpen a közepes jövedelem csapdájában lévő országoknak a szindrómája, hogy ennek az alján vannak, és ugye a kimozdulása, előrelépés, az feltételezi azokat az intézkedéseket mind rendszerében, struktúrában, és hogyha kapok még egy percet, akkor csak végig mondom azokat a konkrét intézkedéseket, amik ugye akár itt a vitában, akár nyilván önöknek is, hogy a tájékozódásban egy kicsit visszacsatolják ezekhez a talán távoli vagy minisztériumi látószögből túlságosan áttételes gondolatokat. Az egyik ilyen az Ipar 4.0 támogatási program, amit ugye az fejezeti forrásból működtet, ez ugyan 1,5 milliárd, elég szerény az összege, viszont láthatják, hogy az abszorpciója kitűnő, tehát 9-10-18-as projekttel szemben most 50-nél is több a beérkezett projektek aránya, és ezt szeretnénk természetesen növelt forrással, a 20-ban is, illetve kiterjesztve később a 21-es időszakra készülve felhasználni. Nagyon fontosnak tartjuk azért, ha már 17% a külföldi finanszírozás, hogy ennek további ösztönzést adjunk, akár az EKD keretében, akár pedig úgy, hogy a kiépített science parkok 5G és egyéb preferenciákat adva tényleg olyan környezetet, olyan infrastruktúrát biztosítsanak, hogy egyre inkább a high-tech, deep-tech kutatásokat hozzák ide a cégek, és ennek a humán oldalát biztosítja az ipari PhD program, amit szeretnénk úgy kiterjeszteni, hogy egy gyorsító sávot adva az ipar kutatóit valóban posztdoc és PhD szintre emelő intézkedéssel, ami jelenleg azért hiányzik a rendszerünkben, és itt nagyon fontos nemzetközi példák vannak, akár a francia vagy a dán modellt tekintjük, ugye tudják, hogy a duális kooperatív felsőoktatást azt a német délnémet gyakorlatból, Mittelstand gyakorlatból vettük át, és végül, de tényleg nem utolsó sorban, a zászlós programot ajánlom figyelmükbe, aminek ugye 3 nagyon fontos eleme van. Az egyik az ipar 4.0, tehát a machine learning, a gépi tanulás és a robotizáció. Ezt ugye az ipar 4.0, a platform és a STAKI, tehát a nagyon ismert kiválósági központunk és intézetünk viszi. Ezzel paralel a matematikai alapjai, a mesterséges intelligencia, elméleti algoritmus alapjai, meg a hálózatkutatás, ez a második ilyen pillére ennek a zászlóshajó programnak, és hát szeretnénk a kettőt szintetizálva egy uniós kiválósági központtá tenni. Én tulajdonképpen elnézést kérek az időtúllépésért, de egyszerűen ezeket a friss és remélhetőleg megvalósuló gondolatokat nem akartam kihagyni, ha már ilyen jó lehetőséget és kedves figyelmet kapok, amit most rögtön szeretnék is megköszönni.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Nicodemus. I think you can take a seat here. So we will have now a very different presentation. And I would like to say a big thank you to Mr. Csaba Kilian for helping us in getting these interesting presenters as well as Mr. Nicodemus on stage. Mr. Nevi Humanze, who is the engineering director of Jaguar Land Rover, and he promised that if everyone pays attention, then there will be a tombola for a Jaguar fan, right? And what he will talk about is the disruptive character of innovation, how they are tackling it, and how they make benefit out of that.
Kedves hölgyeim és uraim, jó reggelt kívánok! Én Mancenilio Jaguar Land Rover mérnökségi igazgatója vagyok. Örülök, hogy itt lehetünk. So, this is my Hungarian. I tend to practice from time to time when I'm riding autonomous. So I'm very happy to have the chance to talk here with you about what we call the ACES revolution. Before doing that, we are a new player here in Hungary. So we opened an R&D center, which is different to many other companies. We opened the R&D center at the end of last year in Budapest. And what I would like to share first, because I realize not everyone is aware about our company, brands and structure. So Jaguar Land Rover is a combination of 2 brands. You can see here on the left side Jaguar. You can see our E-Type, where Enzo Ferrari said once, that's the most beautiful car ever built. So we are quite proud about having this statement from someone like him, who also created a lot of icons. So we will celebrate with Jaguar now almost 100 years, heritage in 3 years. On the other side you see Land Rover and Range Rover. So the first Defender was built in 1948, was the first car made with aluminum. That point of time. The reason why, after the Second World War, no one built planes anymore, so aluminum was available everywhere for cheap money. That's how we started to do those cars. And now we are very happy that this icon is now recently unveiled in Frankfurt. There will be a successor after 70 years running this company. So we founded the company 10 years ago. And you can see, so roughly a decade ago, you can see 2 sedans Jaguar, 1 sports car, and you can see also 5 Land Rover, Range Rover derivatives. So it is an undoubted success story in the automotive business that today we have a wide range of cars in the brands Jaguar, in the brands Land Rover. We have an electric car and we are doing our own engines. Stopping with introducing the company, now going to the topic. It's called Disrupted or Be Disrupted. Don't worry, I will explain later what ACES stands for. And the first question is, why disrupt? It's not in the human nature, let's say, to have a disruptive environment. We all like it comfortable, we like it safe. Yeah, but sometimes it's important to do it by yourself because we have a lot of change. You can see the change which is coming today is coming from a lot of different sides, and I would like to start with number one. You can see the digital revolution. So if you look a little bit on, let's say, newspapers, publishing, if you look at photo, I think some of you will still know in summer vacation you always had this Kodak and Fuji film for cameras. You see music, by the way, I even remember before the CDs, the vinyls. I also remember that software was not always coming on a CD, there was a hard disk and a floppy before that. So if you see, let's say, the 6 sectors, how they changed over time. So first of all, let's say there was one step which was making it, let's say, readable on digital devices, simplifying the storage systems. In the next step, a lot of things went into the web, and now we have a situation where the smartphone controls with the cloud almost everything. So communication between your car, your fridge, your heating system, the smartphone with your kids is seamless. So everything is connected, and imagine the power of our kids today. So with one smartphone, you have the knowledge of the day on your palm, and with one smartphone, if you make the right or the wrong post in your living room, you can get a global popularity. So it's an incredible power now which we have with this digital world. Besides the digital challenges, we have a few examples. You can see Uber, Facebook, Alibaba from China, Airbnb. So the world's largest taxi company, the world's most popular media owner, the most valuable retailer and accommodation providers. And guess what? It's only a digital platform. So Uber owns no vehicles. Facebook is not creating any own content. Alibaba has no inventory which they need to manage on their own. Airbnb is managing real estate. So it's all coming by providing a digital platform. And funny enough, all of those companies have a market value which is going beyond the current car companies which are in business for sometimes more than 100 years. A second disruption is, I just put a collage on one page. You see Donald, so he is always good for a surprise. He still don't know if the taxes from Europe on the cars will come or not. He's keeping us on the toes. You can see China next to it. So I mean the trade war with China, but also China as a power is having a strong influence. You can see emission regulation. You can see the Brexit, which is extremely popular, especially in these days. And this is especially for a company like Jaguar Land Rover. So I would say that also BMW with Mini is quite affected, but we are very much affected by the Brexit and the no-deal Brexit. To give you just a number, a no-deal Brexit for profits by 1.4 billion pound, which is 1.6 billion euro roughly. So it's a massive number, which is difficult and to be honest also possible to compensate. So I talked about problems, and now I would like to share with you, let's say, how the solutions look like. And now you see what ACES stands for. So the A is for autonomous, connected, electrified and shared. So that's what we call the ACES revolution. I would like to give you some examples what we are doing in our company to manage and to face the problems. Starting with let's result a world with zero emissions, zero accidents, zero congestion. I mean, that's what we want to achieve. And I would like to start with the autonomous part. So, I mean, a lot of resources, but more or less all these resources confirm a number that over 90% of accidents are caused by human error. So it can be wrong perception, it can be wrong judgment, it can be tiredness. It can be that sometimes it's driving sick or even drunk. So most of the studies confirm the human factor is the most important thing for accidents. And I would like to share with you on this one chart how autonomous driving is implemented. So to have a car which is driving on itself, for sure you see it here on the right side, you need some onboard intelligence. Imagine this is a top view to the car, and all these triangles which you see are the signals and are the capturing spaces of sensors. It's radars, it's LiDAR, it's camera systems, it's ultrasonic. So an autonomous capable car will be equipped by 10 plus sensors. It depends on the use case, but the amount of sensors is amazing. And on top of the sensors, you need to have a proper computing power, because all those things need to be recalculated in real time. So onboard intelligence, number one. What you need in addition, you need what we call the off-board intelligence. With off-board intelligence, we're talking about HD as high-definition maps. So today, for the navigation system, a precision of 10 to 20 meters is okay. So because the driver is controlling the situation on his own, it makes a massive difference if you're driving into a curve, if you're 10 meters before or after. So the precision of HD maps and autonomous cars is in the space of centimeters. So just to make it a little bit understandable. So it's a massive challenge. And in addition to HD maps, we said here the cloud. So the cloud needs to provide the customer and the car information. Where is the traffic congestion? Where is a road blocked? Where are some obstacles on the road? So all these real-time intelligence must be available off-board. So once we have these two, let's say, inputting factors, onboard intelligence, off-board intelligence, the next step of a self-driving car is the car needs to localize itself. So the car needs to know exactly where I am. When I say exactly, I'm talking about centimeters, not meters anymore. That's the precision. Once the car knows where it is, it needs to understand what is happening around me. So dynamic objects can be cars, can be pedestrians, bicycles. So that's the second challenge, to see I am here and my surrounding looks like that. Then the computing power comes into place, and the so-called artificial intelligence, machine learning, you know these terms, because not only the car needs to understand what is happening around me, it also needs to predict where these objects are moving. And this is the very, very difficult and complicated part. Once you know where you are, once you know what's happening around you, once you predict what's going on with these obstacles, you make a path planning. So the car is calculating hundreds of potential trajectories it should ride in this given environment. And the ultimate thing is, again, let's say artificial intelligence, it has to, after the trajectory planning, it has to make a trajectory decision. So the car needs to say, this is the trajectory I choose for different reasons. And once this is selected, it comes back for motion control, which is something which we have in place today. That's not a big challenge anymore. Once the car has calculated what's happening around me, that's the way I want to drive. It just realizes the motion. Sounds very simple, right? But the problem is, people ask me when we are going to see these cars first time on market. And what I do, I give them an example. For example, most of the Sumo drivers are driving. So when you are driving on a road and you see, for example, a child standing on the pedestrian walkway, if the child looks at the showroom, you will continue to drive because you know how much risk that this kid will go on the street, so you will just move on with your way. Possibility variant number two is the child doesn't look to the showroom, it looks to the road, but it looks into your eyes. You will see, okay, the child realizes I'm coming with the car. The probability this child will run on the street alone. Scenario number three is the child is looking to the road, but not to you, but to other kids playing on the other side of the road. Then as a driver, you will realize there is a risk that this child will run over the street, joining the other kids and the peers to play, and you will automatically remove the speed. And until a car and the computing power will have this power, let's say, to replace human interaction and human feelings, that's going to be a long, long journey. I would like it quickly, because I realized that I'm talking longer than I should. I will quickly go through the levels of autonomous driving. So level 0 is no autonomous driving. This means you are behind the steering wheel. that, which means you get some speed limit information and the car can keep the speed. The car can keep the speed on itself. Just remember, it's the next thing is the drive. The next thing is the drive. The car can keep the speed. It also recognizes the lanes. So you can, to some limit of time, you can keep the lane. That's what we call hands off. So feet off is level 1, hands off is number 2. Number 3 and number 4 is then a mixture of both. So number 3 more or less says the car can for a long period of time drive on itself. That's what we call an eyes off. So you don't need to watch all the time on the street. So level 3 is eyes off, and show is level 4, but just on a more mature basis. So level 1, feet off, level 2, hands off, level 5 and 4 is eyes off. And level 5 is the robotaxis, and to be honest, it doesn't matter where you're sitting in the car. That's what we call mind off. In principle, you can sleep in the car. The car should be able to drive you to your place, your destination. Okay, as you see some are taking pictures, and keep it a bit, and then I move on. Good. Cleaner. You can see here, cleaner. You can see here, it's a sunrise in Shenyang. I lived 3 years in China for my previous company, and I do recall one morning I came to the office. I'm an early bird. I came to the office, it was still dark outside. At 10 o'clock someone knocked on my door and said, David, we have a meeting. And I said, yes, this meeting is happening at 10 o'clock. He said, yes, it is 10 o'clock. The pollution was that the sunlight couldn't come through, and I still felt it's 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning because I was doing something very focused and concentrated. So, and when you think it's only China, when you think it's only China, it's not. If you see 9 out of 10 people don't breathe safe air, it's everywhere. Even in Swansea, a very nice place in Wales, at the coastline, has sometimes air pollution which is going beyond the standards which should be allowed. So I mean, reducing the pollution and increasing the quality of air is a key. And well, we launched our i-Pace, our full electric car, so that's one of the solutions which we have. We're quite proud by the same. You can see the car is the first and the winner in all categories. It's the best car of the world, best design car of the world, and best eco car of the world. So last year we were more than 3 times. And we are continuing with this journey, so more electrification will take place, more plug-in hybrids will take place. You can see the principal structure of the electric car. Reasons why new countries become very strong players. I mentioned China. China and the Chinese government is aware they will not be able to catch up anymore with a combustion engine. So they said, we don't go to this race anymore. We are switching to electrification pure. In China it's important to watch. China is having on the radar to watch and to have it on the radar. One thing which will change with electrification, you can see in black. These are the countries which in the past have been very favorable in the past, have been to say there will always use cases where diesel cars, where petrol cars into a combustion engine. Say there will be, if you are long distance driving, you need to make long distance. Will have a use case. Always if you are long distance driving, if you need an engine to make differences, it will always say, I see it critical have a combustion engine, and I personally can say I see it critical when governments are exclaiming, so by 2030, so will be the traffic congestion. In this, traffic congestion time, there were a few studies. Traffic congestion time, there were a few studies. Everyone knows, we know everyone is true. Everyone knows, so one of the examples is by and someone who is through investing money. So one of the examples is that someone who is investing money in something which brings him time. For example, hire a cleaning to do your household, and you can do something on behalf. Those kind of spendings are more motivating than if you buy new fashion, new bags, a new car, a new watch, or a new jewelry. So time is becoming really a very important, let's call it global universal currency, and that's how we need to work. And the way for smarter cars is, you see here one of our beautiful XEs. You can see on the right side, well, a car always needs to be attractive, good looking. especially from our premium brand, customers are simply expecting that. We know how to bend steel, we know how to weld it, we know how to let future connectivity. That's what you can see here, the future connectivity. And that's what you can see here. Remember when I talked in the initial chart about the digital revolution? Well, I mean, if you're renting a house, the first question is, what is the Wi-Fi? If you're renting an apartment, the first question is, what is the Wi-Fi code? So everything is now getting connected, and the car needs to be connected as well. Some of the challenges in connection is speed. So you can see here on the left side. Some of the challenges in autonomous vehicles with processing this HD maps, camera, radar, LiDAR signals is creating roughly 4 terabyte per day. And if you see now on the right side, 4 terabyte on 3G, say to transfer this, it takes 26 hours, which means it's impossible. So 5G will be the key, not usable. So 5G will be the key to make these new technologies available and in the car available in real time. And here a quick picture about the cloud. So the cloud is not when you're in the beach in Croatia, like in the sky. So this is what the cloud looks like. And the biggest cloud, at least when this chart was created 6 months ago, it was 1.5 the space of Vatican City. I wouldn't be surprised if meanwhile there are really bigger cloud centers, because this is really growing very fast. Good. So having the connectivity. Good. So having the connectivity, having, let's say, the smart cars which can absorb all these things. The next thing is the shared part. And well, shared as a service isn't new. You can see what is already part of the shared economy. You can see here, for sure, let's say on the upper left is about cars and car drivers, but you can see on the right up, so accommodation, Airbnb, for example. So Airbnb was the first to make this sharing idea popular and rolled it out on a global scale, but many others are following now very, very fast. So sharing is a very natural thing. If you know that if you have a car, 98% of the time you own a car, you're not using it. It's either parked at home, it's parked at work. So it's just 2% of usage. I mean, there is a very natural idea, how can I make use of this car in a better way? Because if you have an apartment, you don't use it, you will rent it, right? So the idea is very logical that you always find ideas how to commercialize on your investment. And the need for mobility was always there. You can see we have the forces, urbanization, pollution, traffic congestion. So there was always the need. But now you can see it coming from down to up. We also have the digital, the technical enablers to make this happen. So the need was always there, and now we have the technology to make it possible. And if you see here one chart, I like it a lot. You can see on the y-axis the flexibility. And you can see on the x-axis the distance. So if you have very, let's say, short distance, you will always walk or you will take a bicycle, that's not the problem. If you have a long-term distance to make, and you have a high demand for flexibility, that's the upper right, you will always have a car, and not own a car or rent a car. But there are a lot of fields in between for your daily use cases where you even don't need to be very flexible in coming exactly from one point to the other, or the distance is moderate. And this is where we're talking about car sharing, ride-hailing. Interesting enough, again I mentioned about China's role in terms of electrification. So it's different in the world. This is a chart from Uber. This chart is a bit older. I remember when I was in China 3 years ago, I captured that. But the message is important, and the message is always actual. So if you see when Uber rolled out their services, how much month it took to get the amount of monthly trips. You can see the China cities. They're skyrocketing in a short moment of time. They're skyrocketing. Meanwhile, Uber is out of China, so the local competitor called Didi Dacia is owning that. So for that reason, but again, the message of this chart is in different regions, in different parts of the world, it's a different good. my watch shows zeros, and that's good. My watch shows zeros, and that's also my last chart. So again, ACES, autonomous, connected, electrified, shared. And now I hope the sound is on. Let's see.
那个天门山这条公路是挺有挑战性的。
I would say it's not your typical mountain road. I would say it's not your typical mountain road.
It's one of the widest, steepest roads that we could find anywhere in the world.
Road up here tonight turns had the road up here tonight turns had little blind spots. Quite a few high-speed sections as well.
驾驶上难度肯定是挺大的。
这么多玩意儿，这么多雪，这么那个什么，只要一点点的那个水点子的瑕疵都不是小事。
这个公路收入不是很多。
虽然还我们在外面的车的真是不会让他进去。
Slowly, once you start to use the door, the stairs start to appear.
It then sort of goes to a carefully twisty bit on the steps where it's slow speed.
It's all about maneuvering the car in very tiny, narrow space. Very simple. I'm going to drive the Range Rover. The second part of the sentence is very simple. I'm going to drive the Range Rover Sport up there. See the section of the stairs. It's 45. See the section of the stairs. It's 45 degrees.
车都快蹬起来了。
如果发生这个意外，
太那个什么了，那个也是太那个什么了。
So I talked a lot about digital and electric. So this is for the petrol heads. It is a plug-in hybrid, still with ICE, and it's a promise we will do cars which will be fun to drive, and this is a good example. So, Rajan Krishnan, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Manson. I know it would be rare for your presentation, and I know it would be rare that Audi and Jaguar discuss with each other who will present what, but they are very complementary to each other, you will see in a minute. So I would like to ask Mr. Wiefer to make his presentation, and he will focus more on the intro side of the digitalization rather than on the market side. Thank you.
I tried in English. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I tried in English. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time to find this, to join me at this presentation. First, I want to introduce myself. I'm Mr. Wiefer from Audi Hungary, and I'm responsible for the digitalization department at Audi Hungary. Today I'm going to talk about how we do at Audi Hungary the digitalization process inside the factory, not in the car. So it's my colleague before. We are going to inside the factory. Let me start by giving you some. We established in 1993 on an 800,000 square meter plant and 84 colleagues. This is a real picture from the plant we have found for. And now we are more than 13,000 employees, and our plant is growing this time to 520 square meters. This time, in the last 26 years, we have 11 billion euros invested in our plant. And we are also the biggest investors. So the biggest investors. What we are doing in we have four main activities. It's important to understand. We have four main activities. It's important to understand why we are doing the process. First of all, I told it to you. We have first of all, we have in Dürr one of the most
the biggest manufacturing area for internal combustion engines in the world. We have a capacity for 9,000 engines per day we can build up. And now we are starting in the last year the building from engines, and therefore we have a capacity for 400 per day. The second activity, or most activity, is car assembly car factory. We started with a famous model Audi TT. I heard it's in Hungarian. Nowadays we produce also the Q7, and nowadays we produce also the FUV sedan, compact A3 Cabrio, compact SUV Q3, and our newest model the Q3 Sportsback. And this we are doing with a capacity of 750 cars per day. The production of exclusive small-scale families like R8 and Lamborghini models is also done in Hungary, in our tool shop and our presswerk. And this is our third core activity. Furthermore, we have a technical development in here. It's growing up. In the moment we are 400 people in this technical development, and there's a responsible for engine development, and furthermore, also Audi Hungary has many others. Furthermore, Audi Hungary has many other supporting processes like HR, financial services, and so on, and in cooperation with VW. And you can imagine to manage these processes, to optimize these processes with digitalization is a challenge. We want to know this challenge, we have to do it. And I want to talk to you in the further slides how we do it. In addition to these points, the enterprise is changing. My colleague before told it. We have a highly competitive and we have a highly competitive environment, and it requires new ideas and new ways to do our working in the environment. It uses optimized processes, and we have to require new ideas. In this case, I think it's important to understand that Audi Hungary, as a member of the Audi enterprise, it's not only competitions that we are on anymore, but also with digital platforms and this transformation has an impact. This transformation has an impact to the whole business model and requires Audi Hungary as well as the whole automotive industry to adapt to this environment. Digitalization in this context is for us a tool set to develop solutions for the challenges with Audi Hungary faces. What can we expect from digitalization? What can we expect from digitalization? When you ask the makers future advanced digitalization is an invest for the future, and there are many opportunities to develop your company. According to these business managers, there are three top benefits. And one of them is revenue increase by optimizing the left side button up. By optimizing your processes. Productivity gains by better production. You have to serve and cost reduction. Cost reduction how? If you have more digitalization, you can have more data, and if you analyze these data, you can be able to optimize. Nevertheless, we must be aware. Nevertheless, we must be aware of the risk of gathering too much data, even over the necessary volumes. If there's too much data without a proper way of indicators, the quickly matrix will be not really optimal and causes organizational structures. So, too many of these complex organizational structures and information processes, coordination across all business areas are crucial. And in addition to the intrinsic challenge of a company, I think there's an offer effects towards Audiogerro which we have to deal with.
Not highly competitive environment is a huge challenge.
Not the highly competitive environment is a huge challenge, but also the ongoing and mega trends like Industry 4.0 you heard about, and the demographic change in the society.
We will address
for these effects, we will address 3 core areas of action.
Information management,
manufacturing process and automation,
as well as
information management in new cooperation models.
With that in mind, digitalization
is one of the mainly essential tools to exceed the business expectations and fulfill the demand of a modern work environment all across the company.
Hence, the sole purpose
of digitalization is not just digitalization stuff, it's important for us, by supporting and connecting processes, information and people. It can be seen as a key enabler reducing cost and increase productivity.
How do we do it?
In the Audiogerro we have a lot of ideas and initiatives towards digitalization. But how do we know what we do are the right thing, the right way, and when we do it, how we achieve the goals?
Because every path without a goal is wrong.
wrong path. We, alongside with our partners in the core business units, created a strategy by defining a set of goals, put it into a big picture, and put it into a perspective of our business processes. To manage these activities, we installed a portfolio process together with our steering board of digitalization.
Strategic KPIs
are having us to prioritize and evaluate our projects and project portfolio during this process. This way we can focus our resources in strategy projects as well as accelerate innovation.
I'd like to show you some of
the digitalization projects we have in this portfolio. At first,
smart maintenance.
It's
smart maintenance.
It combines mobile technologies, analytics and artificial intelligence into one digitalized end-to-end business process to help improve efficiency. Use of log-based machine learning algorithm in predictive maintenance use case help the production engineers to prevent failures before they happen.
Advanced analytic tools
in combination with the optimal maintenance strategy and digitalized maintenance planning processes, the overall equipment efficiency will be improved.
As you see, all of these use cases
rely to the combination and displaying the right information at the right time to the right person. With the digitalized business process leading the way, we can manage the complexity and increase our efficiency. Let's go.
Second example for that is
smart data. Everybody heard about
big data means
big data means
a massive amount of data.
Got a massive amount of data, both structured and unstructured, and that has collected by an organization. Smart data connect this data with process know-how.
The goal is to get just the right amount of and the right quality of data, and to optimize the process and optimize your decisions. One of these projects in the middle is in our paint shop. We collect data from the sealing robots and learn how they are able to prevent future failures with an analytic toolset and machine learning. Information is collected and displayed. That helps us to get the database additional to an experience-based decision in terms of diagnostics and maintenance activities.
the use of smart data is shown in 2 other projects.
The use of smart data is shown in 2 other projects on the site. One is in the Q3 bodywork department, and the other is in the logistics. Both of them. Visualization of information is a key play, and it enables real-time monitoring of the business process and error rate, the reduce of error rate, increase the production performance, and production costs reducing. That's the main goal.
The next example.
I think it's an odd example, but it's very impressive for me.
It's human-robot collaboration.
It's the human-robot collaboration.
4.0 project, but
normally an Industry 4.0 project, but I think there's a lot of digitalization. Human-robot collaboration means that robot assists the human operator, the machine does not replace the human, he assists. I think in the future factory there will be no separation between a robot and a human being and human manual workstations. That's, I think, the future. Some parts you can see it in
Adam and Eve.
Adam and Eve. So we call this collaboration. I told it was one of our first human-robot collaboration. We installed in the car.
A little history to this project.
Every completed car has a quality assurance control at the end of the
quality control process is checking gaps.
One of the quality control processes is checking gaps on the vehicle.
Our colleagues
and Adam and Eve are our colleagues to do this process. Let's see how they are working. We are going live on the employees by performing ergonomically workstations, and we have a high quality performance for reproducible processes. And for that, we increase the productivity. But we are also able to increase our quality measurement with them. We have an intelligent measurement comparison with the body shop results, so you can see, okay, is something going wrong? We can do a correction in the body shop. Also, we have at the end of the line, and we have an automatic defect input in our measurement systems, in our quality systems. So it's for us a very good example how we can do digitalization or Industry 4.0 let me summarize our view of digitalization and surrounding technologies like AI, but I don't use the word AI, but it's whatever's inside.
We've seen changes in transformation.
We've seen changes and transformation in the automotive industry, also concerning our Bulgarian drive portfolio, electrification, so by us.
My colleagues before, is also by us. We have to change our whole production in electricity and our digitalization brings change. Digitalization brings change also to production processes and the working environment due to additional information quality. It has to improve quality and efficiency, but also the economics and the safety simultaneously. And digitalization is not a short run, it's a long term.
And you have to change your mindset.
And you have to change your mindset in your stuff. It's very important if you want to do digitalization with the universities like we are important. But it's very important to change the mindset in your company, not only by the workers, in management, in leadership, everywhere.
In the end, digitalization is
not just the use of modern technologies like AI, KI,
and applications,
and applications, but the connection between information, people, process, and technology to increase productivity for all the fields in the long term. That's for us digitalization.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bifa, for your presentation. And it was really inspiring, and now I would like to ask your thoughts on that. Now I would like to ask, we will switch to the German part. We see what's happening in Germany, Baden-Württemberg or southern Germany. So I'd like to ask Mr. Zimmermann from Fraunhofer to make a presentation on his experiences and his practices and applications in production.
Thank you for the introduction.
So my presentation is about the requirements for
a successful implementation of AI. So I want to talk about what's the basis, what do we really need, what is important if you want to do some AI applications in SMEs especially. We heard a lot about big companies, but why can't they do that, and what is the problem in SMEs? So I'm from Fraunhofer, from one Fraunhofer Institute, the IGCV. Fraunhofer in general, we are 26,000 researchers. It's one of the biggest research institutions for applied research in Europe and especially in Germany.
Let's talk about some big examples.
We have big names here. We have Microsoft, Facebook, Google, Apple, and Amazon. So why do they do AI? What do they have in common? Why did Microsoft as a software company start going with AI? Why Facebook? Why Google? They had a search engine. Why do they do AI? So the big common thing about all those companies, they have lots of user data. And that is my emphasis of all of this, what I want to talk about. You need a certain set of data to get some kind of artificial intelligence to work. Because if you have it's the same with the human. If you have seen a lot of things, you know what to do. We heard the big example with Jaguar before, right? You have seen 1,000 times there's a kid standing right to the sidewalk, and you know if it looks at you, it has seen the car, but this is something you have seen that 1,000 times, you know how human behavior works. So it is really important to understand that we need certain amounts of data to do some kind of AI application. And there is a big difference here between, let's say, consumer AI and AI production, and that is what I want to talk about basically in all of what's coming. But let's start, I'm from a scientific research institution, so let's talk about what is AI, or what is some definition. We have here a definition from the Encyclopedia Britannia. So it says, artificial intelligence is the ability of a digital computer or computer-controlled robot to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. So what does it mean? It is some kind of behavior we say a human could do, right? But it's not that simple. We should talk about what different AIs do we have. So there's basically the weak AI, which acts upon and is bound by rules imposed on it and cannot go beyond them. What does it mean? It means we say, where are the limits? If we talk about the example of a car, we say, okay, this car should go there and there, and it knows it has to go by the roads. It doesn't
it has to pay attention that it doesn't do any crash with another car or a human and stuff like that. So that is very important for us to understand that we are always talking about weak AI, because there is also the strong AI, which has, let's say, mental capabilities and functions that mimic the human brain, but it is not bound by any limitations. And that's basically what got us this movie. So it's basically an AI which can do whatever it wants based on its own mind. So let's talk about weak AI. It's basically some method tool. So I put some examples of machine learning tools here. I don't want to go into detail, but it's
data basically. And let's go to some examples.
Let's go into some examples from the
I brought a slide where I want to talk about what is consumer AI, what is industrial AI.
I brought
and for me, consumer AI, everything that we directly as an end user here in our room can experience is basically where I want to talk. So self-driving cars in the end are also consumer AI.
Self-driving cars in the end are also consumer AI, because I, as an end consumer,
and there are typically some points that we have to consider about consumer AI.
And there are typically some points that we have to consider about consumer AI. We are normally always observing behavior, right? So I said user data, Facebook,
Google Maps, for example, where it knows where I live, it knows
Google Maps, for example, it knows where do I live, it knows where is my workplace, it knows when do I go there, so they observe my behavior.
I didn't go into Google and said, okay, this is, well, maybe I didn't say this is my workplace, but I didn't say, okay, I go every day from 7 o'clock, I go there, because it just observed my behavior and understood
it just observed my behavior and understood what I'm doing.
Because, well, sometimes they go
we also search there for the average, because, well, sometimes I go to work at 6 o'clock, sometimes at 7, so Google says, okay, between 6 and 7 he goes there, I can give him some more information, I can check his routes, but it's not that important that I really have the exact time on each day. And we have an unknown environment. That means I'm not known as a specific person before I'm observed, and then I'm getting some kind of digital twin of me in the internet. And as I said, yeah, we have those large data pools. And also, it's not important, or it doesn't make a difference if Google is wrong. For example, I have a holiday, and Google says, oh, he will go on this day at 7 o'clock, and then I don't go, well, nothing happens basically. So it's not a big problem for those kind of data pools that if they get wrong, because, well, then I'm one data point that is false in the data prediction, for example, for the traffic at that day, right? But we're like 80,000 people traveling each day between Augsburg and Munich, so that's not one problem if I have one data point that's missing there. If we go to industrial AI, it's a little bit different. We observe performance, we observe robots, we observe machines basically. We want those machines to be better. The thing is, we engineered everything before, so we have a lot of knowledge before. We did everything today without AI, right? So we have a lot of knowledge how robots work, what should they do. So that is completely different to consumer AI. And yeah, basically we search for the outliers. We heard before with the example of Audi, we search where there is some missing things, where there is some door not placed right, where there is some paint not right. So that is basically what we will try to do there, and we have a very closed and known environment. Yeah, if we go to the example we heard before with a kid, there could be a kid running over the street, right? Well, there's normally no kid running throughout my robot cell, so we don't have to calculate for that kind of changes. We have security there, we have boundaries, so well, it changes a little bit if we talk about human-machine collaboration, but that is an AI application, and that's why AI could be for offense there. We also have highly distributed data pools, so basically all our production networks are very close, so it is very difficult to get, it would be nice to compare production data from Audi, BMW, Jaguar and so on, but that won't happen, and that is what is happening with the other companies I mentioned before. So we have kind of restricted data pools. And yeah, false negatives could be deadly. So with the example of the robots, if I say there is no human in my cell and there is a human there and the robot goes, then somebody could die. So very, very different requirements here. So let's talk about some examples from the consumer AI. We heard about data of cars before. So here you see like an SUV, passengers car, sports car, police car. How does it know that? Well, you could go in there and put some properties out. So you could say, okay, police car has these blue lights, SUV is higher, a sports car has a big exhaust. But it would be very, very difficult to get all those data, although this data put in there a priori, right? So that is what I said before. We have this a priori knowledge. We don't have that in the consumer industry. So basically we look at millions of different vehicles and then decide, okay, this could be a sports car, this could be a passenger car, this could be a police car. So we learn, this is similar if you know the CAPTCHAs you have online, and then it says, okay, mark all pictures with a bridge or something like that. It works in a similar way. And how do we collect this data? Well, we have lots of different sensors and cameras and stuff like that, and they all collect data all the time. And now, well, I come to a slide we have seen before because it's, I think it's a very important slide. How much data car can use? So here we have lots of cameras, lots of data, a lot of comparable data. This is optimal to put an AI application here, right? So we can say we can compare many different cars in many different situations. What did they do? Did the user interact? Did the driver interact? Did he put his foot on the brake when he saw the kid? And what did the kid do? So you can compare the data of what did the driver do to what has the car seen. And so we can learn the environment and get better and better each and every day by comparing all those different data sets. And like we said, it's a lot that we really need 5G to make this work. That's also very important.
So let's talk about industrial AI. Well, we heard some examples before.
So let's talk about industrial AI. Well, we heard some examples before, but I want to go quickly about some more. So machine vision. Why should it work with AI? Well, I have a product. Maybe I produce 2,000 products per day of this kind, and then I can compare this data. We get into a region where we have big data sets. We have a lot of data, and we can compare them. And I see, okay, this part is not as the other 1,999, so there's probably something wrong with it. So AI can learn about those parts by just looking at lots of pictures of them from very different parts. Maintenance is the next thing we can compare. If we have a big production, we compare all our robots, and there is some spike at 1 or 2 or 3 robots which are not the same as the other ones. So that could be some error or some gear system which is failing in the future. There's, for example, that LG plants they have already implemented this with Microsoft. Then we have an example that's more interesting. Generative design. How does this work? Well, for example, Airbus has millions of parts, and they just compare how those parts are designed and say, oh, well, here we did it differently, and okay, maybe we can transfer this kind of construction there, and they completely generate big parts out of it in an optimal way. So you see, for example, this door or this panel over there, which just generated. What do we want to do? Yeah, in general, what do we want to do? I talked to another colleague of Audi before, and he said to me, we always want to make the production better, so we want to have some kind of, we don't want to do AI that we do AIs. In the end of the day, it would be better to produce more cars, right? So that we don't have cars with a failure, we have more output, less scrap, right? So basically, AI should be used to optimize the operation, not to create the operation from zero, but to optimize it, to have a higher efficiency, to have a lot of less waste, for example, by, like I said, we have to don't have that much scrap, and in the end to have more output at less costs, right? So this should be always the goal, and that's not different to other terms we use big data before and smart data, but in the end it's all about comparing data to make the production better.
We have all our machines.
But we have a problem there. We have all our machines down there, and then we say, okay, we want to do some data collection.
Right. So we have completely different
get there, right? So we have completely different protocols, completely different data models, and that is a big challenge here, because if you take 10 different robots and all of them transfer the data differently, we can't compare anything. So we want to compare all the robots, because the more data and the more comparable data we have, the better we can use AI. And I want to talk a little bit about how we can get there, or what the big problem is here. So if you look at the market currently of industrial communication protocols, we see that we have a lot of different competing manufacturers with their own standards. There's Profinet, for example, Ethernet, PowerLink, and on the right side that are the industrial Ethernet standards, on the left side the Fieldglass standards. And there's an important development there, because 2018 was the first year where more industrial Ethernet standards were sold than Fieldglasses. This doesn't mean that there are more Fieldglasses out there, because it was only what was sold in that year, right? So if you cumulate it over the last 30 years, Fieldglass maybe has 70% and industrial Ethernet only 30%. But that's very important, because industrial Ethernet is a lot more capable of transferring data fast in big data, big amounts of data, and also data models. And these standards, they can all be used for control as well as data collection. So we can control our machines with these protocols, but we can also get the data. But we have a problem there, because most of those communication protocols, they have, well, first of all, we don't have a common communication protocol, but secondly, the data models behind those protocols are very, very poor. And I would be 4.0 member of the company Schunk, and I work very closely in terms of data modeling with them. But basically what you get is a control word, and then there is a byte, or there are 2 bytes, and there are some bits within. And you need to know that the third bit of the first byte means that the jerk is active, right? So if you go to that problem with an AI, you see, oh, hey, okay, I have a byte and I have another byte, but you have no idea. The AI has no idea what is the meaning behind it. And if it doesn't know any kind of meaning, it's very difficult to make some optimizations there. So I really want to get that in your head, that an AI can't learn anything from nothing, because if you only have those bytes, you would need to have a camera which then observes the gripper, and then if the byte gets from 0 to 1, then the camera sees, okay, the gripper closes, and this is all information we have. And the AI needs that information up front, because it needs what does close and what does open. So how can we get there? Well, there's something called OPC UA, and that is one protocol which is very much preferred in Germany. And it's basically an Ethernet-based protocol which can have data models inside. So it is a complete architecture, it's platform independent. We have some kind of built-in mechanisms in terms of services. So there's a read, a write, and a method call and stuff like that. And this is the important part. We have information models. So we now can say, okay, the gripper closes, and the machine can read this and says, okay, the gripper closes, it opens, it is fast, and it is slow, stuff like that. And you can also say, okay, I have some vendor-specific intentions. And this is not something for the future. This is happening, especially in Germany right now, but all over the world, where we do information models for a lot of different devices. And for example, for the robotics, it's already done. So we had a demonstrator, and all those robots, all their data, what is the, which axes are active, is the robot well, what is the speed, and stuff like that. They all have a common data model now. You can buy them like this. You can buy them from KUKA, you can buy them from ABB, and you can collect the data and you can compare it. So now you have all those different robots in your factory, and you can combine those data to see, okay, what is the overall efficiency, where are some errors, what is wrong with this and that, and you can do all those applications thanks to a lot of work in terms of harmonization and standardization. And yeah, like I said, this is only one example. There are other examples. The grippers are doing that, the CNC machines are doing it, so we have a lot of different examples there how to get to
data which is interpretable. This is the big thing. We have to give the data some meaning, and then an AI can go on top of it and compare those different meanings and say, okay, this is the problem and that is the problem. We can do this with bits and bytes where we don't know the meaning about. So, in summary, we should keep in mind that AI needs a certain amount of data to work, which is especially difficult for SMEs. I know that if you only have one robot, it's very difficult to make an application there. AI can help you to detect coherences which you don't know before. This is the base thing. You haven't seen that this value affects this one, so AI can tell you that. Yeah, but like I said, the application should be mostly for optimization, and the very closed and individual networks make it very difficult. This is just the facts right now. Yeah, I can't tell two big manufacturers just work together and put all your data in the cloud. They won't do that. And it's like I said, this is a use case for our common data model. So we should really talk about how to get those data points and what they mean. And yeah, OPC-UA, just keep it in mind as one technology. There are others out there, but it could be helpful if you want to connect your factory and if you want to collect data and want to do AI applications there. So that's it. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zimmermann. As you can see, that's the flow of the day. This is how we structure it. So we start from the policy level, then we go down to multinational level, and then we look at the applications at the medium-sized level. So and now we will have a presentation from Mr. Stabler, who will present us how this artificial intelligence can be applied in a connected factory.
Hello, greetings. Thank you that I was invited here to Budapest, to the beautiful town Budapest. I was invited to give you a little bit information from a view of small and medium-sized business according to digitization, according to digital transformation, all these buzzwords we heard before. I was very interested in the speech of Audi because there was a topic which was called smart data. That means we are dealing with big data, and Audi realized that we have to transfer to smart data, we have to define smart concepts. How we can deal with data in a resilient way. You know, we heard that we are dealing and listening and reading about a lot of high sophisticated topics. And our real world sometimes is a little bit different. Have a look to my airplane this morning, it was 30 minutes late, no information. If I use the train, very often I have the wrong information. If I use my Audi, it very often suddenly stops recognizing something what I as a human being do not recognize. I understand what happens because I know the algorithms which Audi uses to recognize. And I realize that I still as a human person are sometimes better. But I will become tired, my Audi not. I am not so fast in decisions like my Audi, if he is right. And so I want to discuss with you about that. My experience, the experience of Debuco is consulting mid-sized companies in military, automotive, Mercedes, Audi, Volkswagen, with cloud strategies and using data for decisions, for automated decisions. We did it with Lockheed Martin, with a lot of American companies as well, and we realized very often, even in Switzerland with big banks, that if we work with big data and we try to model these data, we will lose. You see my gray hair? I lost very often. Therefore, I try to change a little bit the strategy. In these days, with big data, with very fast bandwidth, with very good storage and performance, we have the possibility to use post-semantic strategies to avoid modeling, to avoid semantics, which costs us a lot of effort to use with algorithms like linguistics, like stemming, like stochastic data, other strategies to find solutions for special topics. As an example, I brought you an example how many data, how many effort has to be spent to collect the data to have level 4 autonomous driving. You know, we have a lot of levels. At the moment we have assistance allowed. There are possibilities to do connected driving, which is much more easy than autonomous driving, but connected driving would mean everybody should be connected. What is with the human beings on the road, which are not connected, with the old cars and so on? That means all of the new possibilities have consequences we have to discuss about. I want to show you now, that's the reason why I have my computer with me, something live. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, live is always a risk, but I tried to explain. I want to show you to work and deal with data suddenly without a model, without modeling, without spending models. I will now insert in a small controller a text. For example, wonderful Budapest, Budapest is a wonderful town. Or capital, let's call it capital. So, if I do a wait state, I hope it is fetching data. What you saw now is, I have here the normal wireless LAN. I have data sources connected because I'm not allowed to show you data sources from Audi or from Mercedes. I took a public data source which is in an Austrian server, which is called, is from A1 and which is placed in Switzerland. On this server we have the whole Wikipedia databases from Spanish Wikipedia, English, and since 3 weeks the Hungarian one, which I want to try something. What you can see now is, according to the sentence I called, it took without doing anything, or if it's fetched for data. If I now add a lot of things, capital divided by Danube River into the districts Buda and Pest. Always, if I stop writing, it is bidirectional searching. It's now doing the same. And now you see I get a lot of things. I'm not a domain specialist about Budapest. I'm sure you know a lot more. But I have now a few informations, correlated information. And what I can do is now to have a look in this correlation topic. I have to use my mouse now. And I can now, for example, correlate and have a look what happens. Sorry, I can have a look. Take the left hand. I can correlate between these information types. Have a look what happens there, how are the information correlated. It is an example that you see how it could work. If I would be a constructor at Audi or Daimler, perhaps I would be in my construction CAD system. And while I do constructing, I need all the time information. information comes according to the context, like here with Budapest, from a loan. It is weighted and so on, according to a lot of correlation index magic. The magic is built up by linguistics, by STEM, by a lot of algorithms, but algorithms which I do not have to model. In a construction office, if I want to construct, I have to know what does the other guy, if I'm responsible for the gear, for example, what is with the motor, what is with the production line, all should be planned together. What is with patent research and so on. All this information, according to data sources, is coming bidirectional, and it comes automatically. Now I will offer the following statement. I hope you believe me. I do not know to deal with the Hungarian language. But because I have these algorithms, I could do that. I was prepared for that. Thanks for that. I have a prepared sentence. I will copy it, this one. I do not know what it means. If I put it in my editor, it will fetch data according to that sentence. It's very fast, and I will get this data. You see, if I make it bigger, you see, I see here Audi e-tron. It is correlated to Audi. It is correlated to A3. I could now use A3 as a new search, for example, and go on. And so I could navigate through a lot of information what I want to navigate with. You see that A3 is now connected, for example, to this A3, to Vernal Equinox album. I do not know what means that. Does a Scheveningen system? I do not know. I think the domain specialists to that context and specialists in Hungarian language should know what this means. Because I'm not modeling and using algorithms, I could now use, of course, German language as well, and mix up the things. Just a moment. Hungarian language and English language. I can mix Arabic as well. So, now let's fetch the data. And you see, it is fetching information in different languages, and it's normal. If I'm dealing in Mercedes in Germany, perhaps I have to send a request to my colleagues in Seattle. I get back information in English. I put it to my Hungarian colleague. He asks his colleague in Hungarian. It comes back. You know these email sequences. That means mixed language in products is normal. Okay, I want to show you a little bit a background of these systems. So, the live is over. My live demo is over. That means I hope that I am now more structured in my presentation with all these tools and mouses. Normally, we have different data sources in different formats available. SAP data, PLM data, and we want to correlate them. That means we are in earlier days we had silos, SAP or supplier data. Now we want to have a crossover correlation between these data. For example, if I want to go to Budapest and I enter my car in the morning, I have to program my navigation system with the airport. But I'm really not interested in the airport. I'm interested in the flight. That means my navigation system does not know about the flight because it's a silo system, geographic. And of course we have a flight schedule system. If these both systems would be correlated, I would never have a problem. If there's a traffic jam, the system would tell me, no problem, the flight is late as well, or it would tell me, no problem, you will not be able to fetch the flight, but I book the next one for you. This is correlation of data. I'm living in a correlated world. And I'm sure you agree, we have SAP system. They are sorted, they are modeled, and we should keep it. But the amount of data which is modeled and sorted will decrease more and more. Think about IoT data, think about geographic data, think about social media data. We will become a more and more unsorted, not modelable world. That means we have to take care to deal with all this data. I'm sure you heard about IBM Watson, about Tableau. If you want to use and make analytics with these systems, you have first structure and do a smart data management to set up the analytics. That means you have to bring the data together, you have to minimize the data, because you have to work on the data in a special kernel system. That means no distribution is possible if you want to make pattern recognition or something else. This is an example how you can correlate data from different formats, from different data sources, real time, and put them in different applications or standalone applications. What I want to point out is we should start and not only have a look in the future 20 years in front. That means we have a lot of business services. We want to consolidate our companies, we want to mergers and acquisitions and so on. And that means we have decisions according to data. If we use artificial several special categories, one is machine learning, deep learning and so on, learning mechanisms, we should be aware learning and the data should be in place in the time we want to use the learned data. That means we have always the problem with storage, bandwidth and performance. And we should try to set up strategies to get smart data for decisions. I want to show you where I think SMBs and reliable business is at the moment. You all know about the data age. To describe the data, we formatted them to get information. We knew using metadata, a data type has a special function, has a process. We are not interested in information. We need knowledge. All the day we need knowledge to make a decision. And our goal is at the moment to get knowledge out of raw data using and generating information. And I think at the moment we are in the middle between digitization. Digitization or digital transformation means to increase the amount of automation in a process. We do not necessarily almost need 100%. Sometimes 80% is a real value for us. And in my opinion, we are in the middle between knowledge and service. Service is 100% automated. In special contexts which we can describe 100%, for example, a chess game, this is describable 100%. We are 100% automated, but not in wider contexts which we can't specify 100%. I call it cyclomatic complexity, where we are not able to deal with the cyclomatic complexity. I want to show you something very important. I do not discuss about driverless physics or about atomic power stations. There it is enough to be good enough. Let me give you an example. To prove what I tell you. Maybe 15. You will never know if these are all the books. You will never know if Amazon offers the best books. You will never know. But you will buy, and I think you are glad with the book you get because you will be informed. That means Amazon's offering is good enough for you. At the moment you pay with the credit card, you should be perfect precise. That means while offering books, a list of books, we use a system of engagement, very fast, changing all the time the interfaces to make you new offers, fancy and so on. At the moment if we book, we should be very precise. We call it system of record. You know, two-phase committee, all these things. Okay, that means to bring fast value, SMEs do not have so much money. I think in Germany, the automotive industry at the moment not follow the principle of fast, fair, cheap, and we should avoid modeling ontologies and so on where we can, because my opinion, and you can see a lot of the fusion of Daimler companies together was not finished when Chrysler was sold. That means very often it takes too long to make a model to hit the target. The organizations or the real world changes faster than we can. Yeah. That means that's what I wanted to tell you and to show you that there are new paradigms, new possibilities to deal with data 100%. But very often we do not need these 100%. The last statement. Of the data to make a 100% correct decision. It's the Pareto principle.
Thank you so much. A live presentation effort. So, intelligence platform corporation. His presentation with us.
Thank you. And I'm going to switch to Hungarian. I was asked to speak in Hungarian, so sorry about that. Üdvözlök mindenkit, mindig utolsónak lenni ebéd előtt, egy jó 10 perc késéssel, úgyhogy a koalíciót Palkovics mesterséges intelligencia ökoszisztémán. Automat egy nagyon izgalmas és nagyon orsozik a háta,
talking about your full range of commercial vehicles. Maybe even different types of drone autonomous and vehicle autonomous in the full range of things. You might want to think, I have a set of combines and I want to platoon them up, and I want to also attach at least one or two how can I work with platooning on commercial vehicles? My V2X technologies. Here also, we're testing not just the vehicles, and there's no really place that you can test these, the integration of these technologies, especially when they're toppled up on one another and how they affect each other. If you put a couple of those antennas beside each other in the very beginning, you'll even know you don't even have to move the vehicle to see that they bother each other. So this kind of testing can go on at the proving ground. Here's some pictures here. These are a little bit from May. We're working our way forward. The whole area and the whole concept of the proving ground and the ecosystem around the proving ground has been developed in a scientific way based on a V model, and that's what this slide is showing. Here is our service portfolio. We're not just going from the classic test to the future of mobility, where we have basic asphalt services, autonomous vehicles, use case setup services, public road testing. A customer would come to us, they do their development, and then we help them launch and do public road testing in Hungary. Hungary is, if not the best place for public road testing at the moment. Also, we have our R&D services, and here again, when we development, how to develop AI development and test AI development, it's not in the same linear fashion as you would when you test dynamic testing of a vehicle. So the whole proving ground is offered with a high definition digital maps. These maps are offered to our key accounts and customers. They can do their X million simulations on their own site, on their own time. And when they come to the problematic use cases that they've gathered from collecting data from the road, then they can really make a proper use case or data set for the AI development by narrowing down the data, and then the problematic use cases that they cannot develop further in simulation, they can take them and do the physical test of the proving ground. That's the first step. The second step is they come to do the physical test of the proving ground, but how can they get as much data and much analysis out of this physical test, with the option of injecting virtual and reality and augmented reality elements into the test. So they have the most robust and deepest type of understanding of that one specific use case. Again, with the proving ground, where we offer you the test vehicles. We have a set of test vehicles. So your system or your subsystem, your software can be taken with our research and development teams, installed into the test vehicles. Whether you want a large commercial vehicle or just a simple car like a Smart, we can do, and we can help you test. And our small conference exhibition center, we can help you do a press release there. Beautiful backdrop to the proving ground. It's like a country club for autonomous testing there in nice green Zola County. And we can also do product implementations when we want to invite and show OEMs and T1s. Yeah. So and we want to support Hungarian and European SMEs and startups in that way. We're a partner for the disruptive technology innovators. Also, we'll help you find a hotel, we'll change your oil, I'll help you with your tires, run off road, we'll actually rescue you. We'll have ambulance services from a vehicle point of view and a car point of view as well. Again, you have to understand that the airspace above the proving ground is also a test facility for us. So the interaction with autonomous drones. This is our smart city area. This is very unique. It's the largest sort of smart city environment under development. You have places in Korea and in the US, M-City and K-City, that are similar. But this is actually unique, and it's actually physical facades and the multiple subsections within the proving ground. The whole proving ground, 13 ton per axle as well. So it's good not just for passenger cars, even including the smart city where we have a logistics center. A little bit of the smart city here. This is just about 30% of the road network. We're a work in motion, a big love. We have another 2 years to go every week. But again, we're live. We're working with multiple partners in testing. I had mentioned moving from the proving ground to the local testing. Then we talk about promote this one large blue circle, and in part of the large blue circle at the bottom, you can see the M76 being built. Here we will have a pink, and we can entice those nice and fun to know performance manufacturers, Ferrari, Aston Martin, McLaren, but the real reason for building this high-speed cell is how your AI software and your sensor fusion software, for instance, in the use case such as a platoon of commercial vehicles with an approaching motorcycle at over 250 kilometers an hour. Will they see it? Will they react? Will they let you in? And things like that. Important questions, important research. And on top of that, the red circle also involves tri-national testing. How does your vehicle respond when it goes to Austria? And this is also quite a unique aspect of the proving ground, it being a hub for autonomous vehicle and AI development. And that's all pretty much I want to say. Thank you very much. I did have a film. If you have any questions, you're welcome to talk to me after. Thank you.
So I'd like to ask Mr. Horowitz, Szilárd director, to make a presentation.
Ha elindul az óra, akkor én is elkezdem a prezentációmat. Köszönöm. Jó, a KUKA-nak a digitális portfóliójáról szeretnék beszélni. Bizonyára önök már tudják, hogy ipari robotokkal foglalkozunk, és a különböző magyarországi autógyárakban és egyéb általános autóipar, illetve már is sok robotunk a világon, hát most már 100 fölötti nagyságrendben látható a KUKA robotok, és elérkeztünk olyan időszakban, amikor nem csak a nagy kínai és európai gyártók, hanem most már vagy japán és európai gyártók, hanem Kínában is egyre több és több robotgyártó jelenik meg, már nem az, hogyha valaki egy jó, pontos robotot tud gyártani, hanem az, hogyha a digitális szolgáltatásokat magas szinten tudja emelni, és ezáltal az ügyfél számára egy hozzáadott értéket tud kreálni. Ezekből a digitális megoldásokból hoztam önöknek pár példát, de először is egy rövid áttekintés, hogy mi milyen digitális szolgáltatásokban gondolkodunk. Az autóiparban is, illetve az integrátor és az általános ipar területen is kínálunk hasonló szolgáltatásokat, egy KUKA Connect nevű szoftverfelű megoldást, illetve kívül még csak az integrátor, illetve General Industry modellben még egy KUKA különböző IoT megoldásokhoz, konfigurációt, illetve dőshegesztéses megoldásokra digitális megoldásokat, és ezen belül a következő 12 percben. A KUKA Connectet úgy vezetném fel, hogy képzeljünk egy olyan világot, hogyha mi vagyunk a gyártásnak a vezetője, egy pillanat alatt látható, hogy éppen a gyártásunkban dolgozó robotok, ez a KUKA Connect lehet központ megoldást kínálunk már az ügyfeleinknek, amiben az összes robot a robotaink adatokat tudnak szolgáltatni a Connect megoldáson keresztül tudjuk monitorozni. Ez egy olyan cockpit jellegű felületet tessenek elképzelni, amiben le tudom kérni a robotoknak tehát a gyári specifikációit, a hardware, a szoftver installációt, és azt is, hogy milyen adatokat adtak, és egy pillantás alatt látszik, hogy van-e olyan a keresztül és a KUKA Connectet, akkor rögtön látom, hogy vannak az egész miről szól? Az egész arról szól, hogy tudjam használni. Az egész arról szól, hogy nem történik, akkor meg a leggyorsabban tudják reagálni, és hogy minden robotás, minden költséghatékonyságnak egy nagyon jó eszköze lehet egy ilyen felhő keresztül kommunikál, ami van a következő megoldás chattel vezetnék fel, adaptáció. Egy adott cégnél, ők egyszer csak nyugdíjba mennek, vagy az átadás átvétel egy-két hetében vagy hónapjával nagyon nehéz pótolni. Eszköz, amivel tulajdonképpen egy olyan digitális adat, amivel ők egy minimális birtokban fog tudni a robotokat kezelni, karbantartani vagy megjavítani. Kérdések reménye online formában, ahol részletes információkat kaphatnak az ügyfelek arról, hogy ha problémának a megoldását. Hogy az adott robot részhez milyen pótlészek szükséges. Ezeket a és végül, de nem utolsó sorban lekérdezheti azokat az információkat is, hogy milyen paraméterek szerint kell milyen egy éves licenszmodell keretében elérhető az ügyfelek számára, 7-24-ben, és ahogy mondtam, a legmagasabb egy számos ez valahogy az elsőt letegyük a gyár. Megtervezni. Tartogatni.
that the new working group meeting on artificial intelligence at 2 p.m. will be in this room. Okay, just to make sure that you find the right location. Now I would like to ask Mr. Gyula Pomázi to be the last but not least presenter of today. Honestly, I do not like too much presenting with Mr. Pomázi because he's always winning the best presenter title when we present. And so what he will speak about is, as I said in the preliminary presentation, what is the impact of of the innovation, digitalization on IPR for SMEs. Thank you so much.
Nagyon szépen köszönöm, ez azért igazán kedvező felvezetés. Rögtön az elején hadd legyen már egy kérdésem, hogy önök szerint 2018-ban hány darab beadott magyarországi szabadalom van, amiktől érkezett tipp? Kinek van tippje? Nagyságrend. 20, 200, 2000. Nagyjából úgy kell elképzelni a hazai beadott szabadalmak számát éves szinten, hogy folyamatosan esik. Ez azt jelenti, hogy az elmúlt 8 évben nagyságrendileg egy olyan 6000 darabra lezuhant az egész 450 környékére. Tehát most egy évben összesen a magyar gazdaság 450 szabadalmat ad be. A 450-ből gyakorlatilag egy 50% az, amit a gazdasági szereplőktől kapunk. Praktikusan ki lehet számolni, hogy ez mennyi darabot jelent. A többi az magáninnovátor által kezdeményezett szabadalmi bejelentés. Egyetemek nagyságrendileg összesen 73-an vannak ma Magyarországon, ebből 21 néhány az, aki államilag finanszírozott, ők összesen adnak be 16-ot per év. 16 szabadalmat per év. És akkor nagyjából össze lehet rakni, hogy a hazai közép-kisvállalkozások mit tudnak ezen a területen. Ha megnézzük, hogy a mesterséges intelligencia, a digitalizáció és az új technológiákhoz kötődően ez hány darab számot jelent voltak éppen, múlt évre visszavetítve, viszonylag kevés számnál járunk, 10-es nagyságrendben. Miért izgalmas ez? Nemrég beszéltem a közép-kelet-európai partnereinkkel, az ottani IPO-kkal, ugye az Intellectual Property Office irányítóival és az ázsiaiakkal, és valami nagyon furcsa számok keletkeznek, és nagyon furcsa számok jelennek meg, amelyekre azt gondolom, hogy érdemes odafigyelnünk. Az egyik izgalmas szám az az, hogy hányan foglalkoznak például mesterséges intelligenciához kapcsolódó szabadalmak elbírálásával Európában. Egész Európában 4000-en. 4000 olyan elbíráló van, aki valamilyen szempontból ért ahhoz, egész Európában, mind a 27-28, nem is tudom hány darab tagállamban, akik képesek a mesterséges intelligenciához kapcsolódó különböző bejelentéseket valamilyen formában egyáltalán megítélni, hogy ezek újszerűek, nem újszerűek, egyáltalán alkalmazhatóak vagy sem, és mennyire jelentenek ilyen értelemben szabadalmat, vagy egyéb más ehhez kapcsolódó tématerületeken, oltalmi területeken igényt. Ázsiában nagyjából 22 000-en foglalkoznak ezzel. Arányokat érdemes figyelni. Ugyanez volt az izgalom a járműiparhoz kapcsolódóan, és a járműiparhoz kapcsolódóan például a végzett mérnökök számát illetően. Körülbelül 1,1 millió mérnök van például Kínában, aki egy évben végez mérnök. Ennek nagyjából 35-36%-a, akik járműiparral foglalkoznak, és ugye azt is tudjuk, hogy a mesterséges intelligencia az nem csak járműiparhoz kötődő, és nem csak ilyen értelemben ágazatspecifikus, hanem olyan jellegű megoldásai vannak, amelyek messze-messze túlnyúlnak ágazatokon és az ágazat közi rendszerekben. Ezért igazából érdemes arra figyelni, hogy hol tart Magyarország, hol tart Európa, hol tart a világ abban a versenyben, amit mesterséges intelligencia, járműipar és az ennek kapcsán megjelenő további ágazatokban valamilyen úton, módon lehetne mérni, értékelni. A hazai vállalatok logikáját mutatja ez a nagyon egyszerű kis ábra, aminek a felső és alsó sorát érdemes talán nézni. A felső sorban az van, hogy a hazai tulajdonú és a nemzetközi tulajdonú vállalkozásoknak milyen aránya az, ami megfigyelhető. 2018-ban 480 000 körüli működő vállalkozás volt Magyarországon. Ennek a 3,2%-a az, aki hazai tulajdonban van, vagy 96,8%-a hazai tulajdonban, és 3,2%-a ugye nemzetközi tulajdonban van. És hogyha nézzük a hozzáadott értéket, a hozzáadott érték megtermelésének a piacán, akkor nagyjából fele-fele arányt, amit meg lehet figyelni. Enyhén szólva is viszonylag nagy az a fajta, mondjuk úgy, hogy lehetőség, amit a hazai vállalkozások GDP-hez történő hozzájárulása címén valamilyen úton, módon nézni lehet. Ez igaz ilyen értelemben a különböző ágazatainkra, és igaz azokra a lehetőségekre is, amit nézünk, és igaz arra a fajta hozzáadott értéktermelés piacára, ahol a szellemi tulajdonnak hihetetlen fontos és kiemelt szerepe van. Hol van igazából ilyen jellegű szellemi tulajdonhoz kötődő, mondjuk úgy, hogy a hazai KKV-k szempontjából is érdekes és fontos meghatározó tényező. Az egyik igazából a mosolygörbének, a hozzáadott érték piacán megjelenő mosolygörbének a tervezési, a KFI időszakában, illetve az értékesítési időszakában, ami két dolgot jelez. Az egyik dolog az az, hogy a hazai közép-kisvállalkozásoknak meg kellene végre tanulniuk kutatást, fejlesztést, innovációt. És jó lenne, hogyha azokkal az együttműködő partnerségekkel, akik mondjuk egyetemeken, kutatóhálózatokban, egyéb más helyeken megjelennek, lásd például a Zalazónnak a tesztrendszeréhez kapcsolódó, akár egyetemi partnerségekben, olyan jellegű beszállító és értékláncokat tudnak megjelenni, ahol a szellemi terméket, amit elő tudnak állítani, annak a hasznosulását Magyarországon tudják megvalósítani. 1700 olyan projektet vizsgáltunk meg, amely kutatás, fejlesztés, innovációval foglalkozik az elmúlt 10 évben. Ebbe belegyömöszölt a kormány 2200 milliárdnyi forintot. Az 1700 projektből, csináljunk még egy ilyen tippelős részt, mit mondanak körülbelül, hányban volt hasznosítás? Százalék is jó, darabszám is jó. Nagyságrendek. 10%. 5. Kicsivel többek, jobbak vagyunk. 30% környékén vagyunk. Nagyjából 450 körüli az a fajta projekt az 1700-ból, amiben volt hasznosulás. Az összes többi projekt az azért volt, hogy elköltse azt a pénzt, ami elméletileg kutatásfejlesztés innovációra vonatkozott. Elkezdtük megnézni azokat a viselkedési mintákat, amelyek megpróbálják valamilyen úton, módon feltárni, hogy miért nem hasznosítjuk a kutatás, fejlesztés, innovációs eredményeket, miért nem jelennek meg a Szellemi Tulajdon Nemzeti Hivatalánál, miért nem jelentjük be őket. És akkor nagyjából helyen közel kiderült, hogy de, bejelentjük, csak nem biztos, hogy itt van. Vannak eredmények, amelyeket hasznosítunk, de nem visszük oltalom alá, mert egyszerűbb know-how-ban, valamilyen formában azt beépíteni, aztán utána vagy ellopják, vagy valamilyen szempontból lemásolják, de addig is megvan a piaci előnyünk. Nagyon érdekesek azok a viselkedés minták, amelyeket az egyetemeken, a kutatóhálózatokban és bizonyos értelemben a közép-kisvállalkozásoknál tapasztalni lehet, de azt látjuk, hogyha összehasonlítjuk abban az értelemben, hogy hogyan hasznosul az adott szellemi termék, az adott szellemi tulajdon a gazdaságban, nagyon izgalmas számokat kapunk. Több befektetési bizottságnak is a tagjaként megvizsgáltuk azt, hogy a hazai KKV-k milyen jellegű módon innoválnak. Izgalmas válaszokat kaptunk, ami a lényeg, az első oszlop 91%-ban azt mondták a hazai KKV-k, akiket megnéztünk, nem járműipar, általánosságban kérdeztük meg. 91% azt mondta, hogy köszönjük szépen, nem látunk okot arra, hogy innováljunk. Önmagában véve egészen izgalmas kérdés innentől kezdve, hogy az a kormányzati program, ami ilyen gyönyörűen össze van foglalva, hogy mit jelent a kreatív magyarok és innovatív vállalkozások irány, hogyan is tud megvalósulni egy olyan közegben, amiben ha nem tudjuk, nem értjük pontosan, hogy a hazai vállalkozásoknak milyen jellegű motivációi vannak, akkor voltak éppen ez két egymás mellett párhuzamosan elmenő intézkedés csomag, vagy olyan jellegű folyamat, ami hát, mint tudjuk, párhuzamosak a végtelenben találkoznak, miközben jó lenne, hogyha ezek minél hamarabb érnének össze. Mit jelent ez voltaképpen? Azt jelenti, hogy van egy csomó olyan jellegű terület, mesterséges intelligencia talán látható is, az AI, amely kiemelten fontos, azt gondolom, megértenünk a különböző ágazati szinten is, így a járműiparban is, de nagyon érdekes megvizsgálni azt, hogy ennek a cégértékre gyakorolt hatása, a hasznosulásban megjelenő hatása, az hogyan is néz ki. Összehasonlítottunk 3 vállalatot, a 3 vállalat mindegyike körülbelül ugyanazt csinálja, járműipar. Az egyik Lengyelországban van, a másik Magyarországon, a harmadik pedig Hongkongban. Mindegyik alkatrészeket gyárt, körülbelül ugyanannyi létszámmal, körülbelül nagyságrendileg akkora árbevétellel, még úgy a piac méretük és a piac minőségük is nagyjából hasonló. Nagyon izgalmas volt, hogy a cég értéke a finanszírozási piacon milyen mértékű és hogyan tér el egymástól. A magyar annak nagyságrendileg, hogyha 1 volt az értéke, a lengyel ehhez képest 2,5-szeres szorzóval tudott megjelenni a tőkepiacon, tőkevonzó képesség cég érték tekintetében, a hongkongi pedig 9-szeres szorzóval. Ugye azért izgalmas ez a játék, mert ugyanaz a cég, körülbelül ugyanazzal az árbevétellel, létszámmal, a cég értékessége szempontjából viszont őrült nagy eltérés van. Elkezdtük nézni, hogy mi ennek az oka. És nagyon izgalmas dolgokra jutottunk. Az egyik izgalmas történet az arról szól, mint befektetési területekkel is foglalkozó, ipari befektetési területekkel is foglalkozó, vagy tőkeági finanszírozással is foglalkozó elemzőként. Megnéztük azt, hogy mibe is fektetnek be, hogyan fektet be igazából például egy mesterséges intelligenciával foglalkozó vállalkozásba a tőkeágon a venture capital. Amióta mesterséges intelligenciát ennyire fölkapta a világ, azt mondják, hogy alapvetően a tőke olyan helyekre szeret menni, ahol 4 olyan jellegű befektetési iránya van, amit valamilyen úton-módon keres, néz vagy szeret az adott cégben. Az egyik, ami arról szól, hogy legyen menedzsmentje, hát ez nem egy nagy túlvá, ezt mindannyian tudjuk, hogy legyen menedzsment az adott cégben. A másik, ami nagyon fontos, hogy legyen benne tényleg másik terület. Adatfeldolgozó rendszerek, informatikai megoldások, ipar 4.0 termelési rendszereknek a megújítása, ez mind-mind ilyen tényező. Ezekben nem állunk jól, kezdünk lemaradni Európához képest is, nem hogy a világ többi részéhez. Szabályozni kell, támogatási programokat kell átgondolni, és egy csomó olyan jellegű dolgot kell megújítani, ami az innováció politikában a hasznosulásról szól. Nem az a lényeg, visszakanyarodva az első gondolathoz, hogy hány darab oltalmi bejelentés érkezik a Szellemi Tulajdon Nemzeti Hivatalához. Ez csak nekünk jelent igazából izgalmat, hogy mennyi emberrel kell ezt megoldani. Az jelent igazából izgalmat, hogy mennyi az, ami Magyarországon, vagy bizonyos értelemben ebben a régióban hasznosul. Melyek azok az újdonságok, amelyek itt keletkeznek, melyek azok az újdonságok, amelyek itt válnak hazai termelési tényezők mentén hasznosítható végeredményé. Én eddig szerettem volna eljutni, nyilván a prezentáció lényegesen hosszabb, de azt gondolom el lesz küldve, illetve akkor nézhető vizsgálatok. Köszönöm szépen a türelmüket, figyelmet!
Nagyon szépen köszönöm elnök úrnak az előadását, az meg külön végtelen hálás vagyok érte, hogy itt maradtak és minden előadást meghallgattak, nem arról volt szó, hogy bejöttek és elmentek. Úgyhogy nagyon szépen köszönöm az érdeklődést, köszönöm az előadóknak a rendkívül értékes előadásokat, és akkor jó étvágyat kívánok mindenkinek. Köszönöm szépen!